we lived in Lawrenceburg from 28 to 37 when the flood came.
Okay.
And that kind of chased us out. And,
Yes. Highest water ever.
It was right at the semester of our, I was in the third grade at that time. And I finished the third grade in Rising Sun where my grandparents lived. Mom didn't want me to miss a half a year of school, so I went down there and came up here in the following year and went through the fourth grade, through the sixth grade at Southside, and then the junior high over at here in Aurora, and high school in Aurora.
Right, that's when there was a north side and a
north
south
side. And you're right, yeah.
Which I grew up right there. The south side school was closed at
South
that time,
side and north side and west Aurora.
Right, right off Dewars Avenue on Fifth
Right,
Street.
where the apartments are now, right?
Yeah. Did you have my great aunt, Jeanette?
Jeanette Baker. I didn't have her, but she was teaching at that time. Yeah. I had Lucille Turner, I guess was her name, was my fourth grade teacher, and I think probably my fifth grade teacher. And Cecil Rice he was a principal of the school, and he also had some sixth grade subjects. So collectively, those two people was the ones that I had in the fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. Yeah.
So where did you live at that point then?
We lived here in Aurora. We lived down on 3rd Street for a while, and then Mom and Dad moved up on Catherine Street and finished high school up there, and of course went out to New Mexico State Teachers College for a year, and on a basketball scholarship, and came back to Aurora and went over to IU my sophomore year, and then after that, I didn't finish. I went to work and got married and never did finish. But
changes it. So you played basketball in high school?
Played basketball in high school. Played 4 years, yeah. And
you guys have a pretty good team back then?
We were very, very mediocre. We weren't a threat. When I was a sophomore in '44, we went to the semifinals up at Anderson.
Yeah.
And Ed Daugherty, Pam's dad, and I was brought up at probably the mid school year, put on the varsity, started on the B team and played on the varsity some, but we went to Anderson, and Anderson beat us pretty bad up in the semifinals.
Big school.
And then junior year, we were a decent team, but senior year, we were just very, very decent. Nothing to like some of the teams that we've had in the past years.
Well, what did you think about growing up in Aurora once you got up here when you were younger? Did you enjoy the atmosphere, the town, and the freedom that you maybe had?
I don't think there's anything like Aurora really, then and now as well. We're currently living in Lawrenceburg in a 3 Mile Ridge in a townhouse, but the only reason we're living there is because Aurora didn't offer anything at the time when we needed the type of home that we have.
Right.
But no, I think Aurora is just absolutely outstanding, really.
Right. What aspect of Aurora do you think you enjoyed the most through the years? The river, or I know a little bit of everything.
Well, I think the river offers so much, and I think we take it for granted. I was made aware of that when my great uncle from California came in, and where the folks lived up on Catherine Street has a beautiful view of the river and the bend in it. And my Uncle John would sit on the porch in a swing and just admire the river. And of course, I was, a young guy at that time, and I didn't really think much of it. But in later years, to me, it's the focal point of the town, really.
Right. And you could go down like we always did. If the Delta Queen came by, you heard it, and they always played the Calliope, and
that's right.
You were there.
And back in those days, of course, the swimming pools weren't very prevalent.
Right.
And we did a lot of swimming in the river. And back before the level was raised, you could walk out on the sandbar on the Kentucky side, not halfway, but a long ways out, and really not get much deeper than your waist.
Right. Yeah. That's incredible. I don't think about that.
No, that's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that aspect of it I thought was always interesting. But when you got in, then where was the junior high? Was it?
Junior high was over at Northside, over on Harrison Street there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And then high school.
High school is where we're currently, the building is still there where the high school was now.
Right. So, what in high school? What did you meet your wife while you were in high school?
No, I met Doris when I was over at IU. I'd been out in New Mexico my freshman year, and
right.
Doris was a freshman over at IU, and I was over there in my sophomore year. But we met, and she was from Dillsboro. I'd never seen her before, and we met over there.
You just had to see her once or twice.
Oh, yeah. Right, at least, yeah.
Yes, that's grand. So, high school, besides basketball, what do you remember going to the old AHS? Since that's what we're trying to accomplish here, is to keep the memory alive and the town and the school. And
well, I think that, of course, the high school was very, very important to me, and I have said many times we have had class reunions every 5 years. Our class did, and this last year we attempted to have a 70th class reunion, and I think there was maybe a half a dozen of us got together. But there's a camaraderie, at least in our class, and I know I'm not speaking strictly of the class of '46, but so close and so many memories and things like this that I think that I would never forget. And I put a higher priority on really my high school days than I did my college days. And of course, maybe it's because I didn't graduate from college, but I think there's an awful lot to be said about your class of when you're in high school.
Sure. Yes, I would agree with that. So then when you came back, what did you do when you came back? You went to work. I know where you went.
I went to work. I was back in those days, Shenley Distillery was doing pharmaceutical in the drug business and in the good drug business. But
yeah.
I spent 4 years up there, and they closed the plant down because they wasn't able to get a government contract that they'd had prior to that time. And then I spent about 4 years working at Monarch Auto Supply, and the rest of my working career was at People's Federal Savings Bank in Aurora. About 47 years worth there.
Yes.
And a lot of
respect there.
Really,
I can say that.
Right.
That and where the church. Talk a little bit about the church, because you've been a long time member.
Well, we've been a long time members of First Presbyterian Church here in Aurora, and I think something in excess of 50 years, and it's been a good experience certainly for us. And at the time, our two girls, Doris came from a Missouri Lutheran background, and I was a member of the Baptist Church in Aurora, and we knew we needed to get our family into one church, and the Presbyterian Church fit our needs really well, and it certainly did wonders for both of our girls. But
I can speak for that, in that when I was there for a while, when I was living up on Fifth Street,
right.
Everybody that was in the church were all people that knew who I was, and I knew who they were.
That's right.
Extended family.
Another good quality or product of being in a small town. I mean, you have the advantage of knowing your neighbor and knowing a little bit about their background, and we've enjoyed that very much.
Right. Well, that's wonderful. State your name again, because I don't think we said it.
Well, I'm Gib Houze.
Class of
46. Class of 46, right.
Okay.
And there's very few of us left.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you very much for the interview, and if there's anything else you can think of that you
No, I don't think anything else. I appreciate getting an opportunity to talk about it, because it's a fond memory to me, and when you get past the days I refereed for, I don't know, probably 35 or 40 years, and you get past those days and can't do it anymore. Why, your memories is about the only thing you have left.
I can relate to that. I'm
Right.
younger than that, but I still can't do it anymore. So, well, thank you very much, Gib.
Okay, you're very
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.